Hello, and welcome to a look at Mystery of the Nile for the Commodore 64, a game that was originally made for the Spectrum and converted by Software Creations and released by Firebird. Every game has a plotline, and this game has one as well. The Jewel of Luxor is Egypt's greatest treasure, and the evil Nord dynasty Abu Sal is trying to hand it over to the South American collector Baron von Blofeld. And of course, trading in national treasures is not something that is acceptable. So our three heroes are going to go out and try to change that. Yes, I said three heroes, and that is something that was quite unique for this game. The three characters in question consist of Nevada Smith. Yeah. Janet, a young girl, and a local mystery man called Al Hassan. And each of them has a distinct weapon they can use to defeat enemies. Janet, which is the first character you are in control of, has some sort of explosive device that she can toss at enemies. Al Hassan has a melee weapon, which turns out to be an umbrella. And of course, Nevada Smith, being the character that he is, makes use of a Smith and Wesson. Different weapons have different properties, of course, in how they are utilized, and their range and trajectory and all that kind of stuff. If you quickly look at the interface, you can see at the bottom left side you have three boxes, each box depicting a specific character. The bar inside that box is the character's lives, and they are tied to that one character specifically. Then the middle section is a status thing showing how much ammunition you have for Nevada Smith gun and how many explosive things Janet has available. And of course the weapons, they have to be picked up, and if you've already got the weapon in question, you will restore ammunition for that weapon type. The basic premise is to defeat the enemies on the screen, which will unlock access to the next screen, and then you move on and rinse and repeat through various different screens, eventually turning into various different areas, and eventually, finally, you have the option to confront the evil bad guy and nick the jewel before it's handed over and lost forever. From a graphical point of view, I feel that the backgrounds and that kind of stuff portrays the setting of 30s, 40s, whatever it might be, Egypt perfectly fine. The three characters are easy to distinguish from one another. Nevada Smith obviously has a certain resemblance to a certain other gentleman who was also an adventurer, wearing a hat and also packing a gun and a whip and whatever else he did. But I have no complaints about the character's graphics. I think that some people would likely argue it's a bit simplistic, but it's no worse than many another game for the Commodore 64 from that time. The bad guys look like generic bad guys. There's nothing uniquely distinguishable even about them, but I mean, they serve their purpose, and as such, it works perfectly fine. The sound effects are somewhat sparse. As one magazine reviewer was commenting on, was that he found it interesting that the characters apparently walked around with tap dancing shoes even, because of the clack 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 when they walk. This sound effect that you may or may not find annoying, I find it acceptable. Gunshots and grenade tossing is satisfying. The sound effects are simple but I do find them perfectly fitting for the game. The music, there's only the title music, which is a bit of a shame because it's actually quite funky and easily a highlight of this particular title. And again, it sets the tone and style of the game. Fully enjoy the title tune by Peter Clark. The controls are what you expect them to be. Left, right, and down and up will do left, right, down and up things, and the fire button is used to activate whatever weapon the character in question is using, assuming, of course, they have ammunition for it. For reference, you would switch between the three characters by using the 1, 2, and 3 key, assuming, of course, that you have actually reached them and had them join the party. The controls themselves are fine, but some of the platforming requires last pixel jumping, which is something that can be rather jarring until you get used to it. And of course, the fact that in order to shoot up, Nevada Smith has to crouch and shoot. Yeah, don't question it. It works, sort of. The game has two main agitation points, which can be incredibly frustrating. First and foremost, the bad guys. They seem to be very inconsistent in their spawn cycle and in their behavior, so you never know whether they're going to be attacking you or not. But much worse is the fact that their friendly fire is a thing. Once you're in control of all three characters, whichever character you're currently in control of, the two others will try to be behind that character. Which means, of course, if you are doing small adjustments backwards, those characters end up in front of you. And let's say you're in control of Janet and you're trying to toss a grenade at a bad guy, and then suddenly you toss that grenade in the face of one of your friends, costing you a precious life and, much worse, resetting the screen. Not particularly enjoyable, to say the least. But at least the game offers you a password system, whereas once you have cleared 10 screens, you'll be given a password that you can write down and then re-enter and pick up from that point onwards. According to comments and reviews, this game is either perfectly decent or perfectly absolutely not decent. But even on a personal note, I can't help but feel that it's got that certain something that makes me enjoy it for whatever reason, despite its somewhat agitating niggly bits. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time. Bye bye for now.